And welcome, everybody, to another Mark Bishop Show. You know, there's facts and common misconceptions understanding compounding pharmacies, but there are certainly key benefits. So what is a compounding pharmacy and how common are they in the US? Shaun Noorian, he's the CEO and founder of Empower Pharmacy. And in a second, we're going to find out exactly what we're talking about. Most consumers, well, we're familiar with how traditional pharmacies operate, but far fewer are aware of the alternative option provided by compounding pharmacies, and that includes me. These specialized pharmacies create tailored medications, apparently, outside of the FDA approval process. This is to meet individual patient needs. So, Shaun Noorian, my guest, CEO and founder of Empower Pharmacy. So let me ask you, why are compounding medications necessary for some patients? And welcome.
That's a great question, Mark. A compounding pharmacy, such as Empower Pharmacy, is a specialized pharmaceutical facility that goes beyond the conventional approach to making medication. At its core, compounding involves the art and science of creating personalized medications to meet the unique needs of individual patients under the care of a healthcare provider. Compounding, of course, was the genesis of our modern pharmaceutical industry. Only a century ago, approximately 75% of all prescriptions dispensed in our country were compounded. Because of the industrialization of pharmaceutical manufacturing that occurred throughout the 20th century, today, compounding pharmacies make up approximately 2% of all prescriptions dispensed in our country. But that figure is growing as more patients and providers grasp the benefits that compounded medicines provide.
Yeah. So, in your case, and from what I've been researching, Empower Pharmacy, as a compounding pharmacy, you specialize in not only men, but women's health as well. And we're talking about topics like dermatology, hormone replacement, weight management, a lot more. And I guess your mission is to manufacture individualized medications the best you can and expand access to high-quality treatments for those people that do need them. Do you, does a drug from a compounding pharmacy require a prescription?
Yes, all our medications require a prescription from a licensed prescriber. And medications that we provide, because they are prescription only, they are much more effective in most cases compared to an over-the-counter product. So for patients that want to get the best outcomes, it's important for them to work with a licensed prescriber that is familiar with utilizing a compounded pharmacy so they can personalize their treatments.
So would it be fair to say that compounding pharmacies can play a role in, alleviating shortages of FDA-approved prescriptions in many cases? Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. Compounding pharmacies are one of the only legal avenues for patients to get access to medications that are under shortage. So when a pharmaceutical manufacturer can't keep up with supply, the FDA allows compounding pharmacies like Empower to make these drugs and add additional capacity to the supply chain while giving that manufacturer time to bring their manufacturing lines back up and running or add additional supply to the market.
Okay, folks, now grab a cup of joe, even if you're in your bodgies, and you can go online and check this out if you wanted to, empowerpharmacy.com. That's www.empowerpharmacy, all one sentence. Okay, explain to me, please, if you would, what a compounded medicine is and how it differs from an FDA-approved commercial product.
It's a great question. Unlike commercial FDA-approved medications that you see advertised on TV, compounded medications tailor the ingredients to fit an individual's needs, which is particularly important for those with unique health challenges. For example, when a patient has an allergy to a component within an FDA-approved drug, such as a dye, a binder, or a filler, a compounding pharmacy can work with a prescriber to reformulate that medication to take those allergens out. Another example is when a patient may not be able to be compliant with a certain dosage form, like an injection, because there's only one product on the market and it comes in that certain dosage form. Well, a prescriber can work with a compounding pharmacy to turn that injection into a capsule or a transdermal cream that a patient can be more compliant with their therapies on. And yet another example is when a pharmaceutical company orphans or discontinues a medication because it's no longer profitable for them to make. But these patients still rely and are dependent on these medications for the rest of their lives. Compounding pharmacies can then come in and we can produce that medication and provide them a direct B2C channel. So we can provide these patients access directly with these medications by working with their prescriber and our pharmacists directly.
You know, I suppose over the years, probably even today, you would still, have to explain a lot of common myths that you'd hear in the street about the safety of compounding medication. Does that go on?
Absolutely. While most everybody knows what a pharmacist does when it comes to dispensing medicine, most are unaware of what a pharmacist does when it comes to making medicine. So I'd say the most common myths that we have today is, one, is that compounded medications are unsafe. The reality is that when prepared by a licensed and reputable compounding pharmacy, compounded medications can be safe and effective. To ensure this, compounding pharmacies adhere to strict quality control procedures and utilize the same pharmaceutical-grade ingredients that a traditional manufacturer would utilize within their own. Myth number two is that compounding pharmacies are not regulated. The reality is that compounding pharmacies are subject to some of the strictest regulations in the entire world, as entities like ours are manufacturing and compounding drugs that are destined to be injected into people. And because of this, we must follow guidelines from each individual state board of pharmacy, the FDA, and comply with the standards that the United States Pharmacopoeia sets, the standard setting organization that the world recognizes as the most reputable organization when it comes to setting the quality standards within our industry. And then the final myth is that compounding is outdated. And while the practice of compounding dates back centuries, modern compounding pharmacies like Empower use advanced techniques and state-of-the-art technology to create customized solutions that meet today's and tomorrow's standards.
Well, I didn't realize you were so heavily, watched and had to perform like you do. I mean, I know you're dedicated. You're on a mission to help people live healthier and happier lives. You've overseen Empower Pharmacy's growth into the nation's largest and most advanced compounding pharmacy. But tell me, what's a 503A and a 503B got to do with it all?
It's a great question. 503A compounding pharmacies are pharmacies that dispense medications directly to patients, while 503B outsourcing facilities, which are registered with the FDA, or it's a type of manufacturer that recently came into existence about 11 years ago with the passage of the Drug Quality Security Act. And these 503Bs, what we do is we produce medications in bulk, but instead of selling them to a patient, we distribute them to a healthcare provider that then administers those medications to a patient. And both of these entities, we can make any drug possible as long as it is a component of an FDA-approved drug, and the FDA has approved of these medications being made by 503As and 503Bs. So it's a way of reimagining the pharmaceutical supply chain where we vertically integrate them as a manufacturer, wholesaler, and pharmacy all in one, cutting out all the middlemen and making a much more intimate relationship with our patients and providers, while, because we've cut out the middlemen, offering products that are a fraction of the cost of many others in the space.
Yeah, well, that was going to be, Shaun, my next avenue, but you've touched on it. And listen, can that be seen on your site? Can people research as an example what you're talking about? About the truth. Anybody can say, hey, my price is a thing, but can they actually see it and compare?
Because compounded medications are so unique and it's all dependent on what a prescriber writes, all a patient has to do is send us a prescription and we can give them a quote for that individual customized therapy.
They'll soon know. They'll soon know because, let's face it, today it's a hot topic, isn't it? Medications shouldn't be what they are so expensive. It's ridiculous. And it's so dangerous, getting them from south of the border or Canada or anywhere else. What was I going to ask you? What should a patient really know when choosing? I mean, you're the largest in the nation, but what should they know when choosing a compounding pharmacy? I mean, You're not Robinson Crusoe, are you? There are others out there.
It's a great question. It's important for patients to stick to trustworthy pharmacies that use safe and well-established compounding practices. To do this, one way is for patients to check to see if that pharmacy is accredited. And the one that is most recognized within our industry is known as PCAB accreditation, short for Pharmacy Compounding Accreditation Board. Of course, it's also important to ensure that to take a look at that pharmacy's website and see, are they showing all the different practices that they're doing? Are they transparent with how they're making their medications? So looking for pictures of the pharmacy, their manufacturing processes, looking at the people, and seeing that there is indeed, the pharmacy is indeed, doing what they're saying they are doing.
Yeah.
So it does require a bit of work on the patient's end. But another way is to work with a trusted prescriber that is a subject matter expert when it comes to prescribing compounded medications and ensuring that they work with a reputable compounding pharmacy.
So, Shaun, that what you've just explained then, that's how a patient can verify that a compounding pharmacy is producing a quality product and the right one for them.
That's right. Patients, we have options available to us. And because there are thousands of compounding pharmacies out there, it's important to know which one is the right compounding pharmacy for them. And to do that, it's looking at reviews, looking at that pharmacy's reputation, and ensuring that they have the equipment, facilities, personnel, and processes necessary to make these medications at the highest quality standards.
So, you have a responsibility and you do take that seriously, right? What is Empower Pharmacy doing to help educate the public and ensure patients have access to quality medication? What are you doing about that?
So, in order to become the most advanced compounding pharmacy in our country, we've done that by constantly reinvesting hundreds of millions of dollars into the most advanced facilities, equipment, and personnel to make these medications and create this new supply chain. To educate patients, we have a lot of information on our website on all the different drugs that we manufacture and all the categories of areas of treatments that we specialize in that have made us the one-stop shop for a functional medicine prescriber that is interested in improving their patient's quality of life and ensuring that patient lives the best version of their lives that they can live. So areas of treatment everywhere from men's health, women's health, hormone replacement, IV nutrition, weight management, dermatology, sexual wellness. We cover the gamut for patients that want to improve these areas of their lives, but utilize custom formulated versions of these medications that could produce better outcomes, but at a fraction of the cost.
Boy, oh boy. Sounds too good to be true, Shaun. No wonder trust is critical today. It is in everything. Knowing, liking, and trusting. That's amazing. Folks, empowerpharmacy.com. Go and have a good look at it. HTTPS, the rest of it, I just go www, which is www.empowerpharmacy.com. Last question, Shaun. You're trying to expand your presence geographically. Where's next?
Yeah, we recently acquired the country's largest, most advanced outsourcing facility in New Jersey about 4 months ago. And we're always building more and more facilities to advance the practice of compounding and set the standard for our industry to follow. So keep an eye out. Every couple of years, we're always building a latest and greatest facility. And that's what's really exciting, is creating this whole new supply chain that is here to serve patients and prescribers first and foremost.
You should come over to Arizona, my friend. All righty.
Right.
Well, it's been fascinating. I've learned a lot. Thank you for that, Shaun. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaun Noorian. He's the CEO, founder, from scratch, built this. Well, it's the nation's largest, and you can't be doing something wrong if you get that big. Plus, they're very heavily scrutinized. Have a look at it online, okay? It's amazing, absolutely amazing. empowerpharmacy.com, and that was Shaun Noorian, the CEO and founder. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you, Mark. It's my pleasure.